Hello, story lovers! Welcome to Nana's Fairy Tales, where we share amazing and interesting stories. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell to get notified when we upload another enchanting tale.
In a little community where life was fair and fun, where light swept the ground with life and warmth, there was a girl called Uma. Uma was as beautiful as the morning sun. Her skin was smooth and spotless. Her legs were straight, full and beautiful. Uma is blessed with the finest features one can ever think of. People adored her and called her all sorts of beautiful names. Some call her Anyango, which means the eye of the sun. Others call her Apanao. Others in adoration call her the mirror of beauty. Everyone wanted to be with her because of her beauty. As a young girl, everyone loved her and wished to have a child as pretty as she is. People loved her at first sight because her beauty is like charm that keeps them enchanted when they set their eyes on her. Her brown eyes shone like gold, and her radiating skin greets everyone with light and spark whenever they meet her. Her lips are like clay mixed with the finest oil. Uma, like her name suggests, is everything one can describe as beautiful. Uma was beautiful beyond human comprehension. Sometimes they wondered if she's a mermaid or a human being, for mermaids were described to be extremely beautiful in that village. Uma is adored by every living soul in that village because of her beauty. But something was wrong. She never respects anyone. She has this strong sense of arrogance because she has been frequently told how beautiful she is. She became so full of herself and refuses to help in chores at home when asked to do so. When asked to do anything, she'll look at the person from head to toe and from head to toe again, and then give out a loud hiss. Then say to the person, "Me? The beauty that greets the morning sun. The radiation and light of the moon should do what? I'm a queen, and queens don't do house chores." Uma doesn't go to the farm or fetch water. When she decides to fetch water, she would take out time to light up her face with more makeup. Then she would carry a tiny pot, make her skirt to be as skimpy as possible so that she would flaunt her fleshy legs. Uma would wind her waist and walk gracefully to the stream and majestically walk back. When she is forced to go to the farm by her father, Uma would take an umbrella and walk reluctantly to the farm. She says that she's a treasure that should be pampered and cared for. She will go to the farm and refuse to work on the farm. She would rather sit at a corner with her umbrella humming and waiting for her siblings to be done so that they could go home together. Uma was of age but rejected all the suitors that came for her. She has a problem with each and every one of them. It's either the man is short or too tall, or that his nose or head is too big, or even that his mouth is too wide. She has something bad to say about all the people that came for her. Her beauty has sucked deep down into her system that she sees everyone else as ugly except her. In her mind, she's the only beautiful woman. A man that would match her beauty has not been born yet. Her parents were worried sick about her and warned her seriously about her constant rejection of suitors. From the richest farmers to the experienced hunter, to the well-to-do businessmen, she rejected them all. The older women looked at her with pity, for they said that this one is yet to understand life and how it really works. When told that she will soon begin to age and that her beauty will soon begin to fade, she would spit out and say, "May the gods forbid, my beauty will stay on forever." Not only does Uma reject suitors, she also insults people and tells them how ugly they are. No one else in the village is beautiful but her. She flaunts her beauty and humiliates people in the slightest provocation. One day, An old wise woman met her on her way to the stream and beckoned on her. She came, and the woman told her that not only is she beautiful, but also has a great future, but her pride and arrogance would deprive her of her bright future. Mma hissed and walked out on the woman and muttered to herself. I thought she even had something very reasonable to say. She spat as usual and said, "May the gods forbid." The old woman looked at her, then shook her head in disappointment. One hot afternoon, while Mma was coming back from the market humming and walking majestically as usual, an old woman was standing by the roadside with a heavy load on her head. As Mma walked close to where she was standing, the old woman looked at her amidst tears and asked for help, that she should help her with some of her loads to lighten her burden. Mma looked at her in disgust and shrugged. She said to the woman, "Me, Mma, should help you with some loads? Me? The sun that rises in the morning and the moon that brightens the night. I should do what? Do I look like a beast of burden to you? May the gods forbid that I should touch one of these dirty things you're carrying. Look at this old, smelling, ugly witch. Please get out of my way. Open your smelling mouth next time and speak to me. Let me teach you a bitter lesson. See, gods, me, Masinachi, should do what?" The old woman looked at her and said, "Your beauty will fade like ashes. Your looks will fade like the night, and sorrow will live with you." Mma hissed and replied, "Whatever." As she approached the stream, her body became itchy and she wondered what was wrong with her. She looked back and couldn't see the old woman. She couldn't resist the itches. She went straight into the stream, fell into the waters and began to bathe. The more she bathed, the more itchy her body gets. She cried, but no one in the stream or nearby answered her, because she doesn't talk to them on a normal day. No one asked her what was wrong with her, because to her, they are not up to her standards. She scratched her body as she hastily went home. As she walked on the road, people closed their nose when she walked past them. She stinks so bad. She wondered how this came to be, since she just finished taking her bath in the stream. When she got home, her parents looked on in amazement. They couldn't recognize her. She looked like Mma, and the other way round, she looked like a stranger. Mma went quickly into her room, fell on the ground and began to scratch her body with a piece of stone. She bled and the pain was excruciating. Her eyes mistakenly caught the mirror and she screamed. She wondered the monster that has broken into her room. She went close and the monster went closer to the mirror. She looked around but no one was in the room with her. She touched her face and the monster touched its face. That was when Mma realized she was the monster. She cried and cried, and her family, in total shock, didn't know how to help her. She became so ashamed of herself and didn't want to leave her room. Her parents told her that she can't continue hiding in her room, that she should come out and continue her life as usual. That was so difficult for Mma. All the people she laughed at and insulted began to laugh at her and insult her. She bows her head in shame whenever she's walking down the paths in the village. People would laugh, shrug their shoulders and call her names. Mma received the humiliation of her life. She doesn't carry her mirror around anymore. She greets people even before they see her. She goes to the farm and works harder than all her siblings. She began to apologize to all the people she had insulted. Many months later, on her way to the stream, Mma met an old man with a hunchback with lots of loads that weighed him down. Before the old man could even ask for help, Mma ran to help him with some of his loads. They walked miles before they finally reached the old man's house. As she dropped the load she was carrying to the ground, the old man transformed to the old woman she met a long time ago before her predicament. The woman said to her, "You need to learn that you're not better than anyone else, and that the Creator blessed you with beauty is not a guarantee that you're better than anyone else. And don't forget that beauty will fade with time. Continue to be humble and respectful. Your beauty will return with time." Mma cried and earnestly asked for forgiveness, and she was forgiven. As she walked back to her house, people began to look at her with the same admiration they looked at her before. She walked home quietly, and her parents were surprised at the sudden transformation. She went straight into her room and began to cry. She felt bad for all the people she humiliated and insulted. She apologized to the ones she could remember. Her beauty was gradually restored. She became the Mma that kept people enchanted with her looks once again. But she has learned her lessons. She lived a good and humble life afterwards, doing all the chores she's assigned to do, even those not given to her. People loved her even more and adored her. So this is the story that teaches us to be humble, no matter what we think we have or who we think we are. Thank you for listening to this amazing story. I hope you learned a very valuable lesson. Do not forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell to get notified when we upload another amazing story. For we have more stories yet to be told. We have stories you've never heard, stories you've never imagined. See you around.